Hello and welcome to One North Main, Brockton's magazine show. I'm Jay Miller, your host, and today we are in Dorchester. Usually we're in Brockton proper, but it's different this year. Why? Well, we're in Dorchester because the Global Youth Economic Symposium is being held at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum, and Brockton Public School students from our high school and our middle schools are participating. What are they doing? They are introducing issues that face not only our country, but the world. And not only are they addressing these issues, they're finding solutions to these problems. A panel of judges will be there. We're going to get a lot of the action. In addition to that, we're going to go behind the scenes and see what's happening inside this beautiful museum. So, I want you to sit back, I want you to relax, and I want you to enjoy the show and see what Brockton Public School students have to offer. Okay, the time has arrived. The Brockton contingent is getting off the bus. They're led by Cedric Turner and Mr. Peter Zimbor from the middle school group I recognize coming off the bus. So that's exciting. We're looking forward to it. I want you to pay attention to a few things. First, the museum. It's a beauty. We're going to go around. We'll get some footage of just what the museum has to offer. If you've been here, it looks like it's continuously updated, so that's great. As you can see behind me, the middle school and high school students from Brockton Public Schools are entering the JFK building. I also want you to focus on, there's going to be several presentations. We're going to, not only will we talk with the presenters from Brockton, we will also talk with their competitors from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, who have had a very successful program, along with Brockton and Mr. Cedric Turner.
Showtime!
Yeah, look, I have a name tag.
It's an exciting day, so we're going to pay attention to these presentations. Not only do these kids have issues that are important to them, they have potential solutions, and that's big. And in a competition like this, having a solid solution is the key to success, and ultimately, if you're in it for victory, that's what it takes. So we're going to head inside with the Brockton students and see what they have to offer.
The program is where we choose a global issue and we describe of how it's affecting us, what we can do in the process to fix it, and solutions that we could use in the future to stop that from happening.
Judges are walking around to each table and getting a feel for what each group has to offer. So when they go into their presentation, the judges may have questions, pointed questions about the project. Gives them a little insight. and it helps students prepare for when they go up and give their full presentation before their peers.
The net public non-defense investment of GDP has decreased by 0.9%. That means that all over the world, countries are struggling with infrastructure and has led to many conflicts. Conflicts like lost job opportunities, isolation, poor transportation, energy, and communication skills, and it has caused a decrease in the economic development of infrastructure in countries. From 1988 to 2009, we have gone down in infrastructure quality, and because we don't have enough funding for infrastructure, we're getting worse.
It's major. They just being able to go somewhere else. You're getting stuff in, you're getting stuff out. So if you're not getting stuff in, then you're not getting anything out. Then you're not making any money. So it's coming out of your pockets, which is the exact opposite of what Hong Kong is doing.
Literally, everything can go crumbling down, right before you. Like this whole building could just sink under the ground. I think that's pretty important because if you're at work at a normal day, next thing you know, the roof is just crumbling down right before you. I feel like that's important for anybody to want to put in money and time and effort to fix their issue.
So how would you convey that as being a priority?
Projects, upon doing research, we learned that more projects are being accepted that have high risk and low return than maintenance of projects, the places that we already have. If you can maintain what you have instead of building a new one, then you won't have as much problems with money and costs going into buying tools and buying all this for new projects.
Thank you. Excellent. You're a great speaker.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Nice job. Very nice.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Naya.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Infrastructure, which we basically just said, is about how the things that we think, the roads, the buildings, the trains, it's not just it. It's also the water, it's the food, it's the electricity, the telephones, the grids, and how everything is deteriorating and we have to do something about it.
They're building new buildings on top of unstructured roads. So everything that you just built and spent all that money on can just go crumbling down in any second.
So we have multiple countries that have good and bad infrastructure, Hong Kong being the new King Kong and having some of the best infrastructure with the Belt and Road project that they're doing. And then we have countries which are like first world countries like the US, which is struggling because we don't have enough funding and it's not spent in the right place to get our infrastructure up and to be improving our life.
Solutions would be private solutions, which have private investigators put money in to help and also to maintain the buildings we have. Because think about it this way, it's the hospitals that you send your family to. And if they're not doing good, how do you think it'll be for you?
Okay, how do you think you did?
I hope we did good.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you feel? How do you feel afterwards? Are you relieved? Are you happy?
Yes.
Are you like, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am
yeah,
really.
yeah.
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 I think we did pretty good.
Just cross our fingers and hope for the best. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Man, that was awesome. What a group, what a great group of young ladies. They did a fantastic job, excellent presentation on infrastructure. We're gonna go across the hall through the lobby, which we're doing right now, go into the auditorium where the global competition was happening. We were just in the international competition, and oh, we have museum patrons here today. I better talk softly. Hi. The teams from Rhode Island have started to arrive. I'm going to introduce myself, and they're going to introduce themselves to you, and we'll find out what kind of projects they have. This should be exciting. Let's get to it.
I'm Johnny Duke.
I'm Matt Thakkin.
I'm Zing Ji.
I'm Ravi Sambachi.
We're from East Greenwich High School, located pretty much in the center of Rhode Island in East Greenwich. We're a medium-sized public school. I think we all like East Greenwich because there's a lot of opportunities that it brings with Mrs. Page and all her business classes and a lot of great extracurriculars and also sports activities that make it a great school and a great community.
Our topic is foreign corruption and the cost of doing business. Basically, we have a global symposium team conference, and all of us brainstorm for the first week, writing down different problems, different ideas, how we can solve them, and we ended up falling in love with foreign corruption because it's something that no one knows about, yet it's one of the biggest elephants in the room.
foreign bribery is when companies bribe government officials usually for favorable legislation. And this is really unfair because it economically stifles the opportunity for countries and companies that are not willing to give these bribes out. And so essentially it doesn't award the companies with the best products or services, but rather who is willing and able to give the most in bribes. So it also can take many forms. So it can either be in even like toxic waste and bribing inspectors to look the other way so they can make more money, or even awarding like weaker products better contracts just because of the bribes.
And so it's a huge problem. In 2001 to 2002, there was over $1 trillion worldwide of bribery, which equated to about 3% of the GDP at the time, and it hasn't gotten any better since. In 2011, the World Bank recognized foreign corruption as one of the biggest problems stopping economic and social development and growth. So it's a big deal that affects a lot of people, and we're trying to help solve that.
The OECD is one of the main groups. They're the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and there are 43 member countries. Now these member countries, they all talk together and their economic teams talk together, and they try to gather information from points all over the world, looking at not only GDP, I think there's something like 340 different economic factors that contribute, but that statistic comes from almost an estimation of how much. On this map you can see the different countries based on their levels of corruption and their GDP. All those numbers funnel in to make that $1 trillion. Blue represents less corrupt, and then the red obviously more corrupt.
117 of the top Fortune 500 companies have been convicted, and a lot of foreign corruption is still in the dark, so it's very, very common.
We saw a lot of corruption in China and Brazil, and a lot of underdeveloped countries usually experience corruption because they don't have the institutions to deal with it. But we also see a lot of countries with like lots of natural resources. Like Brazil, they have a lot of oil, so we've seen a lot of scandals involving their state-run energy company. So we see a lot of corruption there. And then China also, they deal in corruption a lot, and they aren't really held accountable to it. So because they don't have the accountability in China, it happens a lot there as well.
Right now, the United States is one of the countries making progress on foreign corruption. In 1977, we passed the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act to help prevent corruption in the United States. And so part of our solution is to reform the FCPA because it's a little out of date. So part of our reforms to it will hold businesses less liable to when they acquire other companies who are guilty of corruption, and also punish the individuals who are committing the corruption as opposed to the company as a whole, to really try to dissuade that from happening. And also the OECD can encourage countries to appoint, or encourage countries to create laws that require large companies to appoint people at the top to make sure that the company is FCPA or OECD compliant with the laws.
Being on the school committee, one of the most important issues that we deal with is providing opportunities for students, and this is a wonderful opportunity, a unique opportunity that most school districts do not have available, but Brockton feels that this is very important. Financial literacy, economics, business, finance, all rolled into this program benefits students and exposes them to these areas that ordinarily they would never have an opportunity to be involved with.
It's great that even though times are tough with the school budget, that you're able to find, carve out some cash to do this.
Well, I mean, that's basically, the major issue that the school committee has to deal with, the budget. And, we have to weigh pros and cons of certain programs. We have to weigh pros and cons of personnel issues in terms of staffing. But, we need to provide opportunities for students, and I can tell you that the school committee takes that obligation very seriously, and this is such a worthwhile program that, our kids, I believe, benefit from it, and we are so proud of the students and the way they represent the district, the city of Brockton.
There are so many youth groups that are coming through here, not only the Global Youth Symposium, but we have an amazing number of students here today at the library, exploring, learning, having fun, and engaged.
Special Unit Task Force.
I came from Haiti. I came from Africa. My mom came from Haiti. My dad came from France. I came from Haiti. I came from Haiti. I came from Haiti. What we're trying to do is convince our country to let immigrants into our country, because 1/3 of our economy is made up of immigrants because of all their farming and all of their hard work, and other people might not want to do that work because they're too hard. But immigrants, they do the work and they help a lot.
I'm Dr. Barbara Lovell. I'm the principal of the Ashfield Middle School. All of these events that are centered around the financial literacy programs are really important for our students because it helps build a basis for them to make financial judgments in the future. I think the students come without any knowledge of finance. They don't have any idea. And all of a sudden they get not only to study about taxes, about making decisions, investing, and so forth, but they also get a lot of other skills that are really important for kids today. They learn to collaborate and to negotiate. They learn public speaking, they learn investigation and research, and they pull all of those skills together for a program like today, in which you can see the students are very nicely dressed. They've created boards. They've used a lot of different skills to come, into one final product to really, have this opportunity. And they're going to be on a stage with a great audience of professional people from the business world, from other colleges, and I think that having that pressure put on them in a sort of a safe environment really helps them to grow and learn. The fact that Brockton Public Schools has sponsored this program for them, and we found a way to make it work even with some tough financial choices that we've had to make lately. We've moved it into the school day program as an elective at the end of the day, and to be able to continue this is really great for these kids. And I think you can see this group here that we have. These students, some of them just arrived in the United States less than 2 years ago, and here they are presenting in English a project that they've worked on for several months, and I think that they're going to have a lot of time to really grow.
We have some of our kids that's going to be going into some of the most fantastic schools. Ben here has gotten into the Northeastern School of Engineering.
So explain what your recommendation is, so I'm clear on that.
Yes, so we took America and we were kind of comparing it to China's high school.
We're in the luncheon room right now. It is a beautiful, it's a beautiful building. It's a beautiful setup. The Brockton Middle School students have set up their tables, their presentations, and we're going to go talk with them. Peter Zimbor, middle school teacher, is in charge of the North Group. Now remember, the kids are nervous, but they've been working really hard, so really looking forward to see what they have to offer, and hopefully we can loosen them up a little bit so when they go before the judges, they feel a little more confident, a little more at ease, so we're providing a public service.
Today, what our project is on global climate change. So as you all know, that over the past few years, the climate change of Earth has been going up increasingly dramatically over the past few years. If we don't stop using the fossil fuels, then hopefully we could just do something about this.
This is really imperative that we do this and we get rid of the carbon dioxide and keep moving and doing good stuff to the world.
climate change, some countries are doing something about it and some are not. Like China's 2020 goals is to decrease the carbon dioxide from the air, and we need to use less machinery usage like cars, trains, and buses. You could just, ride your bikes, but if it's raining or snowing, it's necessary.
Haiti's right in the area of climate change, so like every time hurricane come, Haiti gets hit first. So we don't have the economy enough to repair those damages.
I don't know if you know the Tesla brand. Well, it makes cars and houses, and with their cars, they use batteries instead of gas stations that puts carbon dioxide in the air. And they're making houses putting solar panels all over them, and you can use reusable energy. So right here, if you keep putting carbon dioxide in the air, the sun's energy is just gonna go uncontrollably. You can't tell where it's gonna go, so it's just gonna end up like this.
This is where we are right now. It's like how we're enjoying the sun. This is what we're doing, which is the cause of climate change, which is the gases. And this will be what it will be like in the future if we keep doing this. We'll have droughts, uncontrollable weather, and everything will just be chaos.
It will affect us and the next generation.
Because over the past few years, we're always saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that to stop climate change. But you don't really see anybody doing anything about it. So it's like we're trying to bring this to their attention so they can start doing something before it's too late. Because in a few years, in 30 years, NASA has proved that Earth will be unlivable. So nobody will be on it. Humanity would be extinct. I know that sounds impossible, but if we don't stop doing this, then that could be a possibility of our future.
Let's take a look around this beautiful museum. I want to check it out. So come along with me, and let's go to the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum.
Thank you.
You miss me, I miss you.
Ready, guys?
Yes, in here. Yes, enjoy the experience. We'll see you. All right. You got this. No, we're with the experience. You got this. Deep breath. You got this. Enjoy the experience. You got this. Thank you.
Okay, I'm in Theater 1 for the global presentations. Looks like there's gonna be about 5 or 6. Looks like there's about 5 or 6 groups in here. We'll get a couple. Get a taste of what's going on in here. Impressive. An impressive caliber of student. No question about it. Not only from Brockton, but from East Greenwich. This Global Youth Symposium is really, it's hope. Hope for a bright future with these bright students leading the way.
Taxes have been around since the first civilization of Mesopotamia. Every civilization has had some sort of government, and to keep looking after the well-being of its people, the government has needed revenue
taxes to pay for roads, bridges, and the buildings. If you look at this quote, it's from Dwight Eisenhower. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired, signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and not clothed. This world at arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its labors, the genius of its scientists, and the hopes of its children. So what he was trying to warn us about is that every time we spent money on weapons that we told the world we were going to use, we were taking money and supplies and things that people needed away from those who really needed it.
The government should provide every American with free food and health care.
Now let's compare. USA, we have police, fire, roads, bridges, water, military, and bank bailouts. We pay 25% of our taxes.
China pays for police, fire, roads, bridges, government, water, military, and healthcare, and free education. And they pay 45%.
The problem is that we spend too much money on our military and not enough on our education, while China and Germany cover healthcare and education with their taxes when we don't. Another solution is that instead of increasing what we already have, that we better distribute it instead of it being disproportionate and putting too much towards military and not enough towards education.
All right, what just happened?
So when we were practicing for it, I feel like we thought we had 7 minutes to talk, plus an extra 2 for questions and answer. So we've been practicing with 7 minutes and not 5. And we didn't realize just how short on time we were. So when we went up there, it was just too fast for us. And even though we went at our fastest, we still weren't going.
Mm-hmm. We only got through 10 of our 16 slides, so.
Yeah. I feel that that's still a good amount though. Like I think we did good.
We did reach
I was like, I almost had a panic attack going up there, but I feel much better.
Yes. And we did get to reach across that education is what we're really trying to focus on.
At least when they asked our questions, we were able to
answer
explain
them,
it.
yeah.
Like, we know what we're talking about. I just feel like I wish if we had just had like another 2 minutes more, we could have gotten and already answered the questions that they asked.
Yeah.
And I mean, I handed out the brochure, so I mean, everything they asked is on the brochure, but I still feel like we should
miss a lot. Yeah. I wish.
Yeah. So how are your fingers? How are your hands? Because you were trying to keep
Yeah.
up too.
I messed up a little bit, but it was fine. I went back.
I feel like you did really good. You were really on time. It's just a lot. It's a little stressful because we as Empower Self students have a lot to do, and we want to really impress. And if we could say that, if anyone in Brockton wins, we're satisfied because we can say, "Yay, Brockton, we did it." But if we were to win, I think it would be great because we're always. Sometimes I feel like we're looked down upon because we're young. But if we won, especially because of our community, if we won and we're able to wear it on our shoulders like a cape, I think it would be really great. And we'll just see what happens.
Holy smoke, simply incredible. These kids are so polished. The students are so polished, well rehearsed. And as you learn, when you're in competition, things happen. As you know, you've been in any type of competition before. You go in with one plan and that gets thrown out the window. They had a 7-minute presentation planned. They had to narrow it down to 5. So they scrambled. They did a good job under pressure. And I think that's one of the things the symposium is helping these kids with is the elements, dealing with that competition, how to react to it, how to respond, and quite impressive. Brockton Public Schools obviously is second to none, but we're learning it today at the symposium, and it's quite the thing. Wow, what a symposium. There you have it, Brockton. It's another One North Main in the books, and we appreciate you watching. We hope you enjoyed the Global Youth Economic Symposium. The students were fantastic. The administrators, Tom Minicello, the principal from the Ashfield School. We have Peter Zimbor, and these students really shine. They do it every year. They come to this competition. Not only do they educate us, but they learn about other issues facing not only our country, our city, but the world. And so it's a fascinating event. We credit Cedric Turner from Empower Yourself for doing a fine job. So if you liked this event, and I'm sure you did, and you want to learn more about great things happening in Brockton, there's only one place to go. It's our YouTube page, youtube.com /TheBrocktonChannels, all one word. For executive producer Mark Lindy and producer Aaron Tebow, I'm Jay Miller, and we'll see you back in Brockton.